The next topic is teaching. Who wants to come in on that? Greg.
I was a teacher for many, many years, ladies and gentlemen, and I knew the day I had to leave teaching, it was simple because a very clear sign was given to me that I should leave the profession by a child, because a child walked into my lesson 20 minutes late. I was a very strict teacher. I was livid, yeah? I was almost as mad as if that child had been running in the school corridor, right? I thought, I am having this little bastard. I am having this. So I gave him my most ruthless teacher stare when he walked in, something like... Maybe not that sexually aggressive. It wasn't. That would work. That would work, though, wouldn't it? They wouldn't be late again then, would they? Oh, dear. Where have you been? No, it wasn't right. I was furious. I went, oh, really? Oh, really? And I could see that child didn't give a shit, right? And I thought, oh, no, this is the end of my teaching career. And I went, where have you been? And he went, yeah, sorry, sir. I went, really? Are you? Well, where the hell have you been for 20 minutes? And I promise you, that child looked me in the face and went, yeah, sorry, sir. I've been living La Vida Loca. What can you say to that? I said, fair enough, sit down. Anyone who quotes Ricky Martin at me, ladies and gentlemen, isn't friend for life.
Well done, Greg. The answer is cheese, wine and rubbish. What is the question?
What 3 words best describe France?
What are my ex-girlfriend's pet names for my testicles and penis?
With gas bills rising, what advice has one executive at Centrica, the owners of British Gas?
Oh, I love this guy. Yeah. Put on 2 jumpers. Could he be more evil?
I think the thing for me is that I don't think there's any way of gauging how hot pensioners should be, because there is no limit to how hot pensioners seem to want to be. Speaking to my granny, I'm pretty sure I could pour a boiling pan of jam in her face. I have walked into there and almost turned into a pillar of salt sometimes. And to be honest with you, if the heat doesn't get you in that woman's flat, then the speakers on the telly will make you mentally ill.
Lines you wouldn't hear in a superhero movie.
No, R. Kelly, you can't join the Fantastic Four. It's not enough to believe you can fly.
Unlikely letters for an agony aunt to receive.
Dear Deirdre, can that giant man lift me up like a baby?
You bet your ass you can. Dear Auntie, my testicles are the size of space hoppers. I don't need any advice, I just wanted to tell someone.
The topic is the human body.
I have to tell you that being a tall man in this country is tedious, ladies and gentlemen. Tedious, because in small towns throughout the country, there are a series of jokes prepared by the locals on our behalf. I'll be walking innocently into a local pub or down the street, and I'll get several jokes. One of the jokes might be this. Just to give you an example of the level we're talking about. Another joke might be, what's the weather like up there? It's freezing. There's a massive climate change in this amount of space here. You toothless buffoon. And probably the most offensive example of this is genuine. I was at a cash point and there was a little old woman in front of me at the cash point tapping away with her claws. And I'm sorry, I'm just quite angry about this. And when she'd finished, bless her heart, she turned around and she hadn't seen me. She turned around and she went like this. Oh! Not that sexually. She said, oh! And then with no hint of irony at all, she asked me this question. Would you like a job at my house, changing light bulbs? No. No, old woman. I have plans of my own. Now, get out of the way of the cash point. 20 minutes is long enough for you to have worked out that that's a Tesco club card.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Science, please.
OK, science is the category. The answer is 40 years. What's the question?
What is the average waiting time at Glasgow A&E on a Friday night?
Deleted lines from a fantasy film.
This will never work, Frodo. You all right, John? How's it going, all right? Yeah. How's the kids? All right? See you later.
Things you don't want to hear from your flatmate.
I'd give it 10 minutes in the toilet if I were you. That one could talk.
Only if you found out that his charming Spanish wife sold salad would his popularity have been any lower.
I think if two Labour MPs find themselves against each other, they should combine, like the Transformers, to make one super MP and destroy all of the Liberals forever.
There's something in that plan. Maybe slightly more working out than that.
It's the 1 year anniversary of the coalition.
Yes.
At this point, I bet David forgot. I bet Nick was ringing out going, so where are you taking me? We know where he's taking you. And how roughly.
I agree. Cameron is constantly going on about the strength of the union and how strong they are. I think they should be made to kiss in public. That's what we used to do at primary school. If people said they liked each other, we made them kiss.
By the way, was this during your career as a pupil or during your later career as a teacher?
It was a prison. It was a prison school, I was at.
Okay. Subject is family. Who wants to come in on that? Greg.
All of my family are obsessed by the ageing process. Every single generation of us are obsessed by it at the moment. I'll just share this with you before I talk about other family members, just so I can get it off my chest. I was visiting my parents last week, and an old family friend came up to us in the street and said to my mum, "Hello, Pauline, how are you?" She said, "I'm all right, thanks, Kath, how are you?" And then she looked up at me and she said, "Hello, Bob, how are you?" Bob is my dad. He is 75 years of age. All of us are obsessed with it. All of us are obsessed with ageing in our family. Even my nan. My nan is doing her best to hold off the years. She puts a pound of face cream on every single morning. You know, and there's not a face cream on the market that works, ladies and gentlemen. I know that because of my nan, because she's a lovely woman, but she's religiously applied this stuff, and with the best will in the world, her face is ruined. I said to her, "You've spent all that time and all that money, Gran, and your face is no better than Grandad's." And he's dead. He died in the war. He got shot in the face. With a cannon. Is it how many doors do a Jehovah's Witness have to knock on before someone lets them in? Is it what rhymes with Schmive-hundred smillion?
Okay, if that's what we're doing, then can I have the correct answer, please?
That's the end of the round, then?
Yeah, that's definitely a sign of either the end of the round or the end of days.
Did you see John Prescott's offer to the people who didn't manage to get tickets? John Prescott put a tweet out saying, if you've missed out on tickets to the Olympic Games, the East Hull Olympic Games start today in the park in my constituency, which is kind of like saying, can't afford the opera? Well, there's a tramp at the bottom of my road. Yes, he whistles my way.
Greg, why are you following John Prescott on Twitter?
Private reasons.
What?
I had a haircut in Turkey and they set fire to my ear hair.
Really? Oh, yeah, but they liked it, but not the entire thing, just like they...
No, they didn't just...
Paraffin all over. Welcome! Thank you for coming to Crazy Omar's Barbershop. Things you wouldn't hear at a school assembly.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, boys and girls. I've just had a shit the size of a baby seal. A wise man once said, boys and girls, that if you try your hardest, you can fulfil your dreams. Generally, that's true. Not for you, though, Tom. You can't read. So... The next
topic is unlikely things to hear on a TV talent show.
You're right. I can't sing. Thanks. Hello. Where's my double act partner? Oh, he's in here. Feeling nothing more than feeling. Trying to
First up it is Fatherhood. Who wants to come in on that? Greg.
Yeah, my father has taken fatherhood in a very strange direction in the last few years. And it started about 3 years ago at Christmas when he announced to me, and this is a quote, and all of what I'm about to tell you is entirely real. This happened. He said to me, "Son, I am 72. I said, "I'm aware of that." He said, "Yes. I've decided from now on I shall start behaving exactly as I see fit." And I said, "Well, I would welcome that." He said, "I'm glad you agree, because when you come home for Christmas, you'll discover this year that I am wearing a Christmas outfit." I went, "All right, then." I got home, and true to his word, he was wearing a Christmas outfit. I swear to you, it was one giant pair of white underpants that stretched from his knees to just below his nipples, and a novelty Santa hat with a flashing bulb on the end. And he came downstairs, and this is a quote, "Do you like?" I said, "I find it a bit challenging." He said, "I don't give a shit what you think." And he went off to eat some cheese. This is where it gets weird. I went out that night with some of the people in my hometown. Midnight, anticipating me coming home, my mother tells me he did this. He went upstairs in his Panther outfit. He went to my mother's sheet drawer, for she has one. He took out a double white sheet, he placed that over his head, he went out into their garden and he hid in a bush. With a view to giving me, his then 40-year-old son, a bit of a scare. Presumably, my mother is so sick of his shit, she decided not to tell him something that she full well knew, that on that occasion, I'd stayed over at a friend's house. Right, it's not strictly relevant, but I went out with a Greek girl once.
I can't imagine how this wouldn't be relevant to a discussion of their economy.
Did you not have much money, Greg?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it in.
Unlikely things to hear in a police station.
Right, listen up. We've got a new man starting. He's half man, half horse. It's Inspector Morse. Right, listen up. There's a giant fly attacking the station. I've called the SWAT team.
Unlikely things to hear in a science documentary.
And as the sperm swim towards the eggs, it's hard not to think that I've ruined this fried breakfast.
I was in the bank the other day, this is absolute truth, and a man had a shit on the floor. It was the most shocking thing I've ever seen in my life.
That is one hell of a deposit that he has made.
He probably normally does all of his banking on the internet, but he couldn't log on that day. Is it what Peter Andre says when he's asked what his daily routine is?
Our trains, our toilets, and our celebrities.
Is it high pitched but not Australian anymore?
Our trains, our toilets, our celebrities.
I went to a voice coach to get rid of my Australian accent, and I can't help thinking she's done something wrong.
I've been over in this country for a while, so I sometimes slip into both fucking accents. Our trains got them a six-pack. I don't miss my jeans. And then obviously the celebrities are making the money for the kids.
On the Peter Andre thing. Like that. Where it makes the money for the children. That was the bit that got me.
Is it?
No.
What three things were most complained about at the Queen's Jubilee?
If you can do that in a proper voice.
OK.
He sings the most.
Was it not a bit strange that they built that really elaborate, beautiful rowboat called, what's it called, the Gloriana?
Gloriana, my mate built that.
For the Queen, and yet... Was it just me who thought it's a bit weird that she's not on it? Because the only person who was on it was Claire Balding, as far as... Essentially, there's thousands of foreign tourists who think that Claire Balding is the Queen. I saw the British Queen the other day. Looks like she can handle herself in a pub fight.
Unlikely things to hear at an awards ceremony.
And predictably, for the 50th year running, the Rear of the Year has been won by the same man. Come on up, Chris. It's a Chris Rea joke.
And the award for best film, Kling film.
Oh, that was all right, though, was it? It's bullshit, Dara.
It's all politics, man.
And the best posthumously released rap record goes to Kim Yong for I Told You I Was Ill. Too late. And the winner of Rear of the Year goes to Chris Rea.
Okay. Our next topic is unlikely lines from a thriller.
I want to make you a vodka martini. You can't handle vermouth. I would like to gently lift your horse's foot. You can't handle the hoof. And as his eyes gradually became accustomed to the shadowy darkness, he realised he was not alone in that room. Who is it?
It's me, Peter!
People make an awful lot about the pressure that kids are under, and I suppose they are, but speaking as an ex-teacher, when it comes to exam time, there's far worse pressure on the teachers, because you have to spend sometimes 4 or 5 hours in those halls just walking up and down, and it's a recipe for insanity. I had no choice when I was teaching but to invent a game called Campile. It was just to see who could walk up and down the aisle the campest. We started off just sort of slightly mincing. Honestly, by the end of it, I was walking down a full aisle of children like this. And I knew it was time for me to leave teaching when I got to the end of one aisle, genuinely. During an actual GCSE, a kid looked up at me and went...
So were you essentially voguing your way?
I'm not exaggerating. By the end of it, I was like...
The thing is, they want to make the exams harder, don't they? You know, but surely they're hard enough already if your teacher is walking up and down, camping it up.
Oh, no, I'm still qualified, technically. We'll have to cut this bit out.
Really? Is that your safety net?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Do you think anybody, having seen you in In-Betweeners, anybody who's ever gone to
Well, you've always got a trade.
I was in an exam when I was at school. My mate at the back of the hall went... we were all waiting to leave. Someone at the back of the hall went... Meow. And Mr Mearden, the exam invigilator, went... and then someone else went... Meow. And then... Meow. From different parts of the hall. And it led to my favourite sentence I've ever heard come out of an adult's mouth, which was, all right, no one leaves until the meowing stops.
Unlikely things to hear on a property show.
Get that fish out of here, it stinks. Should never leave a place in the sun. This week on Grand Designs, my gran designs a house. It'll be shit. She's got terrible arthritis and not even a rudimentary qualification. Knock it down, tarmac it, fuck 'em.
OK, the next topic is Unlikely things to hear in a maternity ward.
I'd stay up that end and talk to your wife if I were you, Mr. Smith. It looks like Alien versus Predator down here. Oh, this isn't your first baby, is it?